And welcome to another episode of Father Mahoney's House of Horrors. This is episode 8, and you know what that means. Sorry, I can't play more of that because copyright purposes, I'll probably get shut down for that. So just play the music part. So today we're talking about Friday the 13th, episode 8, or chapter 8, I should say, part 8, whatever floats your boat. And this is Jason Takes Manhattan. So Jason Takes Manhattan starts off, on Camp Crystal Lake, and two kids who are supposed to be at a graduation cruise decide to do some hanky panky. Why you choose Camp Crystal Lake of all places, I don't know, but obviously they know about it because he tells the story to his girlfriend about Jason, and of course she doesn't believe him. And I always wondered, like, how do they? Is this like a different mask? But because it looks like the same mask, um, and it's under. The last mask in part 7 was, remember it basically came off because of the fire, and remember you see the cool ass fucking makeup of like Jason's real face. So basically the mask split in half. But in this one, this must be a new mask. Like he must have planned to scare her. Because he comes out. He scares her and tells her the story about Jason, and then of course this electrical power surge breaks Jason from his chains, and guess who's back? And so there's a few. I'm gonna go along a little bit. A few things I didn't understand about this one. Like, how did Jason know how to drive a boat? Is it the same guy who taught Michael Myers to drive a car? Uh, and how do you go from a lake to an ocean? But sometimes you have to suspend reality. So Jason makes his way to this cruise. I don't know how he I don't know. Was there like plans on the boat saying that, hey, this is how we're gonna get to from Camp Crystal Lake to the ocean, and this is where the boat is? Because Jason ironically finds this boat that's taking all these kids to New York City, and there's a lot of likable characters in this one. Like my favorite is Julius. I love Julius. I think he's the greatest. One of the best parts of this whole movie. Um, and then you're introduced to Rennie, who has a troubled past, brought by Miss Van Driesen, and you know, uh, Mr. McCullough, who's obviously the principal. He's also basically been caring for Rennie for years. Disapproves of her being here, and it's a cute little story. I think Rennie's a very believable character. She plays the troubled teen very well, just like Lar Park Lincoln played the troubled teen in 7. Um, you're introduced to the Mean Girls, and I'm having a brain fart right now. So, uh, Tamara, uh, basically thinks that Rennie ratted them out because they were like doing some drugs in the back, and so Tamara runs into Rennie on purpose, falling into the ocean, and she gets saved, but everybody knows that she has this fear of water for some reason, and you don't find out the reason until later, which is another thing I'm going to touch on too. So by this time, Jason had been dead for quite some time, But when Rennie had this accident that Mr. McCullough pushed her in the water, you know, she's supposed to be a high school student now, and in the flashback, she's maybe 6, 7. So it's like 10 years, maybe 10, 12 years at most. But yet, like, the timeline doesn't fit. Um, like I said, sometimes you have to suspend belief, but there's so many question marks in part 8 that it's hard to ignore them all. Um, I think you know the writer director should have watched part 1 through 7 a little bit more. um, but it's obviously not the first time that the timeline's been thrown off. So in any horror movie, really. So I guess I can forgive them for that. Then we find out, that Jason really is aboard. You have another crazy person who McCullough doesn't believe. It's the deckhand. He thinks that the deckhand is trying to stir up trouble. And, when people start basically turning up missing and uh, they see Jason, they try to convince McCullough, and he still has this. Even when they escape on the lifeboat, you know, he has this like real doubt that Jason's alive. It's not until later on when he runs into Jason, and basically gets drowned, which ironically is poetic justice. Gets drowned in like the sewage, whatever that it was like a septic tank. It's kind of like a poetic justice in a way. Jason serves as death's messenger, and the best scene, obviously, to me is Mr. VC Dupree playing Julius in his boxing match with Jason. And I know I've heard stories of Kane Hodder saying that it's like that's one of his most fun scenes he ever did. And he said he basically would say there were so many times he wanted to laugh, and of course he can't. So because no one's gonna believe it's a laughing Jason, obviously. But that's a fantastic scene. And then, like before McCullough bites the dust, we find out what happened with Rennie. You see the flashback of her getting pushed into the water because McCullough wanted her to learn how to swim, and he's trying to scare her with this hurry before that Jason boy comes up and grabs your feet and blah blah blah, which is cruel and awful. But now you know why there's kind of like an estranged relationship there because she always looked to Miss Van Driesen more as a mother figure, and that was the biggest fault. Like I wish they let Miss Van Driesen live too, but because Rennie obviously had a tough childhood, they could have gave her like one thing to look forward to, other than her like boyfriend. I say that because I didn't like his acting in this, and I didn't think there was a lot of chemistry there. Honestly, I really didn't. And we finally make it to New York, obviously, like I said, and the funniest parts to me is Jason basically walking around Manhattan like nothing, like this is nothing new to people. And even like when he runs into the street gang, that's a great scene too. You did meet slime bag, and all Jason had to do is like take the mask off. He's like, "Yeah, man, we're cool." And then the scene when she runs into the diner, I was like, a maniac is trying to kill us, and she's like, "Welcome to New York." like like nothing phases these New York people. Even when Jason breaks in, and we see the future Jason, Ken Kreisinger, the cook get thrown against the glass window. Like she's not the waitress. She's not screaming at all. She's hiding, but she's not screaming. Like then we have the sewage scene, and this is where my other problem comes in. And I have a theory too. I have a theory on this ending. A lot of people are like, how did Jason turn from a big giant serial killer to a little boy again? I have a theory. You know, through the whole movie, you saw Rennie having flashbacks of Jason, right? So I'm thinking that this is Rennie seeing him as a little boy again, and because you don't really see what's his name? I can't even remember his name. Sean? Yeah, Sean. You don't ever see Sean really like looking down. Like Sean is trying to get the fuck out. But every time she looks down, that's when she sees the little boy. I think that's I don't think he really turned into a little boy. I think that's what we're meant to think that she's seeing. Because it would make zero sense how sewage can turn you from a human, from a man hulking man to a little boy. So that's my theory. Is I think we're seeing it through Rennie's eyes, and Rennie's seeing that little boy one more time. So, and I like the ending. I kind of dug the happy ending on this one, with them she turns around, she thinks it's Jason again. It's just the dog. So, so this movie is a hit and miss with me. I know it has its fan base, but out of a 5-star, I'm only going to give this one a 3. And it lost basically 2 stars, but too many, uh, for basically non-research. With the timeline, with them not explaining the ending better, the boat from Crystal Lake to the ocean. There's just too many mistakes, and for me to give this any higher than a 3. I'm actually think I'm being nice with the 3. I was originally gonna say 2.5, but I'll stick with a 3. So I hope you enjoyed my review of. I'm not a professional reviewer. I never claimed to be, but I this is the stuff that I like to share with people. So I hope you enjoy it, and in the future we'll be doing Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. And for you people, I'm just going to give a little hint. I love it. So until next time, see you at the horror movies. Okay, that sucked. Much love, everybody. Oh, yeah. There's my Michael Myers mask in the background. And my mask's over there. Have a good one.